One Percenter Podcast with Sam Bakhtiar, bringing you the 1% knowledge to help you reach your full potential. Learn what it takes to rise above the 99% and become a 1%er.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Sam Bakhtiar with the 1% Podcast, and oh my God, I cannot believe I have Tim Storey in my house, in my man cave. Tim, what's happening, man?
You're a real friend. You know I love you.
I love you more, man. I cannot believe, Tim, I cannot believe that you're here in my house. You are an absolute celebrity, an absolute mentor to me, somebody who I've looked up to for many, many years. You came to my wedding, you married me.
Yes.
And you've been somebody who, even though you are so up here for me, you know, that you're so humble. You always took my call when I needed you. You've always been there for me. And I have a feeling it's just not me. You're always there for everyone.
Thank you.
You know, you're such a giver, you know, and it's just, I'm telling you, man, when I'm telling you from the heart, that it just blows my mind that you're here right now and we're sitting down having a conversation on a podcast.
Well, it's an amazing thing, and I've told many friends this about me and you, Sam. You know, sometimes you just instantly connect with people. Yeah. And it's usually between a man and a woman where they say, love at first sight. Boom, we had it too. Yeah. And I think part of it is our upbringing of being challenged in our life and being brothers that decided not to sit in our setback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know your book, you know, the Setback book, and now your utmost living book. So let's talk about that really quick, you know, because, you know, I know you and stuff like that, but I actually, you know, went deeper. You know, I wanted to go deeper in your history, you know, and talk about it. I know in church, you know, by the way, Congregation Church, love your church. For years and years and years, man. Yeah. I've been looking for a church where I don't fall asleep. I'm so sorry for people out there, but a church that I can go learn stuff every single day and apply it to real life.
Yes.
You know, I'm a very novice at religion. Mm-hmm. You know, I was born a Muslim, you know, in a very, very Islamic country. I'm from Iran. And my mom converted to Christianity, you know, later. And I remember my mom sitting in front of my grandpa. One have the Holy Quran, one have the Bible, and they're really battling it out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And even though nobody in my family, they're really Muslims, but they were born as Muslim, but they don't practice. They drink and they gamble, they do all that, but they're Muslims, right? Yeah, right. You know, but that was forbidden for you to change, you know, to Christianity. And they really sat down and battled out. I remember all that kind of stuff. But my mom used to want to take me to church, and we used to take me to church, and I really fall asleep, you know. And so many times I tried because I want to get closer to God. Yes. I really want a relationship with God, but I cannot go to somewhere where I can't relate.
Yeah. Well, I think most people, they want to be connected to God because they're made in His image. Yeah. And so if you're made in His image, you start looking for Him, because even as a child, a teenager, as we became adults, you're searching for the one who created you in His image, right? Yeah. And I feel that I was bored in church as a kid. And I said, if I ever became a spiritual leader, I want to make it in a way where people could actually listen, comprehend, and learn, and then execute the plan. And because you're an executor. Yeah. So I think that that's what really helps you.
Now, I know, you know, that I love what you're doing. All my staff now comes to your church. Yeah. Everybody, my in-laws who are Catholics, you know, they're like, you know, old school Latina Catholics. They're like, man, they're coming to Tim Storey Church because they love it so much, you know. But I also know you probably get a lot of lashback. Yeah. Right? A lot of lashback from the traditional people.
Yeah,
well,
I do.
That's a watered down thing. Oh, they know this and this and that, you know. And how do you deal with that?
Well, I think that it's knowing your assignment.
Yeah.
And so I think when I was younger, I played the game and I wore the coat of religion that made people happy.
Yeah.
And then, Sam, I came to a point in my life in my mid-30s where the coat didn't feel good. Yeah. And I said, you know what? I'm going to abandon this coat. And my thing is, I have a relationship with God, and I want to relay that relationship that I have with God in a really down-to-earth way where people could get it. Because I started getting a lot of heat for helping Charlie Sheen, Robert Downey, Kanye West, and people were like, "You sold out." Yeah. I didn't sell out. That's what Jesus was up to.
I mean, how can you sell out if somebody needs you as a pastor, as a leader of the community? You're going to help anyone. Didn't that what Jesus did?
100%. And the cool thing is that in 1992 we started a meeting, Tim Storey Live in Hollywood, and it was wild, man, because these were like guys I looked up to. So all of a sudden, I started hanging out with Charlton Heston. I started hanging out with Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, Vidal Sassoon, Lee Iacocca. You know, Iacocca was like the Richard Branson of his day.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I started to become their spiritual guide in 1992. That's a long time. So we ruled and reigned in Beverly Hills, as we still do. And I did get a lot of negative of like, how many of them are converted, or how many of them have repented? I think that people get it all wrong many times, and that it's about coming into relationship with your Creator. Yeah.
You know, to me, you know, if you're serving the community and you have a purpose of serving, which you're doing, what is wrong with that? Why do you always everything has to fit in the box
100%.
of what people believe?
100%. And I think that's one reason we're so close. We're close as brothers, but we're also close in the fact that we want to reach out and change the world. Like for real, right? So you have some great humanitarian ideas. You are doing some amazing things as far as mentorship, and also having influence. Influence is a powerful thing, because influence, you can change somebody's behavior, their character, and their patterns. And I see that even with the staff that you have here, you can change their character, their behavior, and their patterns. And when you have influence, it's awesome, because it's a domino effect that can go from their generation to the next generation.
Yep. So, you have the Congregation Church. I know that you were born in Linwood, California, which is right next to Compton.
Right.
So obviously, you didn't live in Beverly Hills. You know? And, I met your mom. She comes to church. What a beautiful lady, man. Full of energy.
Yes.
Full thing. But I know that your dad passed away in a car accident, I think when you were 10 years old.
Yeah, yes.
How did that affect you?
Major. And the thing that's interesting about that kind of story is my father is Afro-Cuban. That's my background.
And that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, I'm Afro-Cuban. And so my mother is Spanish. To lose my father at such a young age, you got problems, because the father, because you're a father, I'm a father, is to do three things: guide, which is direction; guard, which is protection; govern, which is administration. So if that's taken out, we got problems. Then I got a mother who's got to work 1.5 shifts at Winchell's Donut Shop. So she is now working 1.5 shifts, which now takes her out of the house. So I don't know how it was for you, but for me, I was almost raising myself.
Yeah.
And unless I had great Little League coaches, great teachers, which I did have, I do think I had the potential to go on the wrong path.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if your mom is working all the time,
always working.
to try to provide for you, right? And there's no dad around, and you're kind of raising yourself, it's kind of like you can get influenced the wrong way very, very, very easily. Very, very easily. And I know that some of your siblings might have done that.
It did happen. With my brother, he's 3 years older than me. He got into, drinking a lot and smoking a lot of weed at the time, and just began to spiral. He became an engineer at McDonnell Douglas, but he could not break the addiction side. And I think that's what happens with so many people that are even watching today, is that they get involved in some kind of a vice that they think is just for that moment. And that vice sticks with them and they can't break it. How many friends do you have that have been that way?
you know what, I had that moment many times, Tim.
Yeah.
I had moments many times. I remember when 5 years ago, I walked in one day and I got served with divorce papers.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was just, recovering from a recession. I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And then I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I went to, I'm like, okay, this is going to be temporary. I went to a hotel, stayed there for, a few days. I'm like, it's going to be done. That a few days, it was a month or 2 months. And I'm like, this ain't getting any better.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And at that time, I sat down and I had to talk to myself. I'm like, okay, Sam, you're almost 40 years old.
Yeah.
You almost went bankrupt. You just are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. You have kids. Now you're going to be like your dad. Your dad wasn't around. Now you're not going to see your kids. What are you going to do? Are you going to go out and chase women and start drinking and doing drugs and all that kind of stuff to be able to ease the pain?
Yeah.
Or what are you going to do? So I sat down and I told myself, you know what? What's my top priority in life?
Oh, yeah.
Other than God, my top 2 priority is my children.
Yeah.
So I want to spend time with my children as much
Awesome.
as possible. But if I'm not with my children, at the moment, what am I going to do? I said, if I'm not with my children, then I'm going to be working for my children and provide for my children.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anything that didn't fit in these 2 boxes was, not, I wasn't interested in.
Yeah. I teach a message that sometimes you have to get left before you get right.
So true.
And to be left is to be forsaken, rejected, to be in a place where you feel like you're wandering and wandering. So I'm going to ask you a question. What did it feel like when you were in a hotel going through a divorce? Man, it had to be a time of like, what the heck? What is next?
Yeah, yeah.
What did that feel like?
I mean, I felt my whole world was broken, because all my life I wanted a family. I wanted a family that I didn't have. Growing up, not having a dad, that impacted me.
Yes.
Growing up, going to Christmas parties where everybody had a dad, everybody had a nice home, and everybody was getting bikes and cool presents, and I wasn't getting that. Like, where's my dad? Where's my dad? So I always wanted to be the provider. I wanted to be the dad, and then that was taken away from me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I going to do? My whole world was shaken. So, I dedicated myself, to work, to the kids, and to the gym.
Yes.
And that became my addiction. You have to kind of divert your energy somehow.
Yeah.
So might as well do it in a positive way.
See, I think that, because I follow you every day. So I think that when some people see you in the gym before 5 a.m., that they may see that as obsession or addiction. But really what they don't realize is that that's one of the things that kept you alive.
100%.
Tell us about that.
I mean, look, I know that for me to be able to function, I have to be at what Tony Robbins says, peak state.
Yeah.
So everybody has to come up with what I call their perfect day formula.
Yes.
Right.
Good.
So what the series of things that you have to do, and I see you doing it too.
Yeah, I'm doing it
too.
too.
A series of things that you do every day to put you at peak
Have to
state
do it.
so you can perform.
Yeah.
Right. And for me was, waking up, working out, eating a nice breakfast, doing my meditation, going through my list. I have a little series of things that I do to put me at peak state before I get in the office.
Yeah.
If I don't do that, it's guaranteed bad day. I mean, if you look at some of the greatest basketball players in the world, when they go to the free throw line, they have a routine.
You're exactly right.
They go 1, 2, 3. Some of them are 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. They have a little ritual they go
100%.
to be able to hit that
Oh, yeah.
that right on. And that's my ritual for me to have what I call a perfect day formula.
Okay, but again, people don't realize that you have to do it because you and I could so easily become like so many of our friends that had a setback and they sat in the setback. Just you don't have to name his name, but give me one example of a friend that just got hit and sat there and got beat.
I know so many people, man. I mean, I'm not, I'm going to be very honest here, man.
Oh, yeah.
Most of my family, unfortunately, they had a setback, and all they talk about is the setback.
See.
All they talk about is, what happened in the past, and and this is one of my things, it's always like, why? Because, and then when I hear that, I got to walk out because I'm so allergic to excuses.
Yeah.
I'm so allergic to excuses. You know what I mean? And for me, it's like, okay, if you have to explain this has happened because of this happened, I have to excuse myself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you know it as well as I know it. You know what I'm going through at the moment.
Oh yeah.
And you called me, you prayed for me, and and you've been checking up on me, and I truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
But you told me, look, Sam, your spirit is not down.
Yeah.
And I can't. I can't. I mean, for me, what am I going to do? Going to sit home, cry and feel sorry about myself, or count my blessings? I mean, I still have my heartbeat. I still have a beautiful wife. I still wake up in California. I can so many things to be grateful. I'm not going to focus on just that one thing that's going wrong in my life.
See, that's what I'm impressed by, and I think that for so many of the viewers today, is that they don't take time to really appreciate and have gratitude for the blessings in their life. And I know what it's like to have nothing, man. To have lack, the smell of lack, right? The taste of lack. Yeah. I remember, because we had 5 kids in our family, when my parents would get a loaf of bread, Sam, I was always left with the ends. Because I was the youngest, right? Yeah. So something in me just said, I'm not going to be left with the ends. You know what I mean? Yeah. The little crusty ones at the end. Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. Nobody wants that.
When did you flip and say, I am Sam? I don't know if it was in high school. I don't know if it was later on in life. But when did it switch?
It switched when we came to the United States.
Yeah.
So when we came to the United States, I was 11 years old, right? So when I came to the United States, we said, my mom said, we're going to move to the United States. And then I'm like, oh, cool. I've been watching the A-Team Dallas Dynasty. Oh, we're going to Beverly Hills. Everybody has Cadillacs and mansions and swimming pools and things like that. And that's what they show on TV.
Yeah.
They don't show the hood.
Yeah.
So when my uncle came and picked us up, he took us to a town called Sharon, Pennsylvania in 1985 when all the steel mills have closed down, and it's the middle of crack cocaine epidemic. And my uncle did what every Middle Eastern person does when they come to America, has a convenience store in the hood. I mean, in the hood, Tim, there was abandoned buildings. There was pimps, prostitutes, and drug dealers outside. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
The roads wasn't paved. It was brick roads.
Yeah.
And I came in there, and in a new country, don't speak the language, and we were poor.
Yeah.
I go to school the first day, for 7th grade, in 1985, Sharon, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. I was the only minority that town has ever seen. It was like a Michael Jackson's Beat It video.
Yeah.
There was black people, there was white people, and there was Sam. Like, what the hell is you?
Wow.
That's exactly what it was. And I had payless shoes.
Yeah.
I had a unibrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was tough.
So you said it perfect. Because where are you going to fit in? Because at that point, I say the same. If you don't do something with life, life will do something with you. So life was basically kicking your ass there for a minute.
It kicked my ass, man.
Yeah.
It kicked my ass. We were poor. We were living with my uncle. Our shower was downstairs in the basement. The East Coast. Showers downstairs in the basement. And basement is cold, has no AC or no heat.
Yeah.
And when you walk in, the floors are so cold. And, I literally had a cold for the whole
wow.
For all winter long, I had a cold because I had to go take a shower in the cold basement. And one of my pet peeves now was having cold floors. So if you come upstairs in my bathroom, I have heated floors, even though it's in California. It was just one of those things.
I love that.
I just want to tell them, I'm like, I never again want to ever get out of shower and step on cold. It was on my thing. It was like programmed ever since I was 11 years old. I don't ever want to step out of shower and be in cold floor anymore. So
I'm a comeback coach to entertainers. So I got to ask you a question. So when you're feeling that setback, when it looks like it's not working, I believe by knowing you, there was still a fire in you that said, somehow, some way, somehow, I'm getting through this.
Yep.
True?
100%.
So no matter what you faced, there was something in you that said, I'm getting through this.
Tim, oh God, I don't know if I even can say this, but God made me one stubborn son of a, what?
Oh yeah.
I
love that side of you, man.
I just don't believe in giving up.
Yeah.
I might be down for a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe a day. if I'm having a really, really bad day, you know what I do? I just go to bed a little earlier.
Because tomorrow's a new day.
I go to bed a little earlier. I go a little bit earlier. I'm like, you know what?
I agree.
I take an L for today. Let me go to bed. Tomorrow we'll reconvene. And usually when I get an extra hour or two sleep, my vision is like 3D the next day. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. I know, But here's the thing, man. We live in the greatest country in the world.
Yeah.
I know how it is being bombed on for 8 years of my life. I know how it is being depressed coming from a very, very strict country.
Yeah.
We're the greatest country in the world. We're in a country where if you don't make it here, then what are you going to do?
So you just said something that people don't understand the intensity of that, because they think that their challenges are like the pinnacle of challenges. You said you know what it's like to be bombed on. I don't even know what it's like to be bombed on. Yeah. Explain that just for a minute. We're talking about real bombs in the vicinity that you live.
I remember one year when I was in school. And and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. And they're like, we're at war. What? Oh yeah, Iraqis, Saddam Hussein started attacking us. And the funny thing is, Tim, we lived about 1.5 miles from Ayatollah Khomeini, the main leader of the country.
Goodness.
So they were targeting him. We're 1.5 miles away. So we're in a line of fire.
Yes.
Right? So all you see was plane flying over, anti-air missiles going up. It looked like Disneyland, but it was like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Right? So I grew up every single night, sirens going off, blackout on the city. And when the bombs dropped, we didn't know it was our turn or not, because they're just dropping bombs. Well, is it going to land here or is it going to land next door?
Yeah.
It's going to land somewhere. I hope it's not us tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So it was like a lottery. I hope I don't hit the lottery, which is the bomb.
And because the potential was literally dying.
It was.
No, for real.
There were people dying left and right. We went and here's what we did. We used to go in the basement and bunker up, right? My grandma, she laughed. She was like, you know what? Basement's not going to protect you. I'm going to go up. I'm going to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
That's what she said. My grandma used to go up the roof. If the bomb going to drop, I said, we're all going to go, so I might as well go enjoy the show.
Yeah. I want to give you an illustration of something. A friend of mine, Eric Dickerson, who played for the Rams forever, I was one time asking him about, as a running back, what are you looking for when the linemen are blocking for you? And he says, Tim, I've never been asked that question. He said, you got those big old hosses in front of you. Most of them are over 300 pounds, right? Yeah. Those big old guys. He says, I'm looking for that much of space so I can break through that hole. Mm-hmm. And you've heard me say in church, when you have a break, don't have a break sit, a break stand. You got to have a doggone breakthrough.
Yep, breakthrough.
So he was saying that those guys are busted their butt, right? When that break hits, I got to find a way through that hole, because I understand the effort of the linemen to block for me. When did you get a breakthrough? I want to know when you got a doggone break and how you came through that hole.
I had many breakthroughs, man. I had many breakthroughs in my life. One of the biggest breakthroughs that I had was, falling in love with weight training.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the story.
I know the story.
I got cut from the basketball team.
Yeah.
I was devastated in a new country.
And you were good.
I was decent, but I was just devastated. I was a new country, don't have friends, don't have any. Everybody made fun of me. Got cut from the, basketball team. Everybody made fun of me.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to go and try to get better at basketball, and I started lifting weights.
Yeah.
And I saw what he did for me, not only physically.
Oh yeah.
But mentally, emotionally. Now I'm 5'5". Now all of a sudden make me 6'5", because I started feeling so much better about myself. Yeah. And that's when I was like, you know what? I can do anything.
Okay, so you said something interesting to me as a comeback coach, that the very thing that was your setback, which was to be cut, became your comeback.
It did. It absolutely did. In my life, I've had so many comebacks.
Yeah.
I have so many setbacks, and I had so many comebacks.
Yes.
And here's the what I don't think a lot of people realize, and I know as a comeback coach, is that a lot of I think you say it. He says, "Don't let your setback set you back."
Exactly. I do say that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's so true. you can't dwell on it.
Yeah. You know, I've worked with Robert Downey Jr. forever. And one of the things is that in the 90s, he was in the cover of Newsweek magazine, and it basically said, this man will never work again. So they wrote finished on his head, okay? And he said that was the thing that helped propel him. That was like the turn the light on moment.
Yeah.
Where he said, I'm going to find a way. And it was kind of cool because he quoted me in the LA Times article about the greater the setback, the bigger the comeback. And I think for your life, that's real, boy.
Yep.
Because you know what it's like to be so set back. Give me a feeling of so set back. What does so set back feel like?
It just feels like you're dying.
Okay.
It feels like you're dying. It feels like your chest.
Yes.
Something is in your chest. I actually, at one time, Tim, I remember I was sleeping, and all of a sudden I felt like somebody stepped on my chest.
Yeah.
I couldn't breathe. I woke up in the middle of the night, like this, like this. I'm like, God.
Wow.
I go, God. I'm like, I'm gonna go.
Wow.
I thought I'm gonna go. So, I'm like, I just laid there. I'm like, all right, God. I'm in peace. I'm gonna go right now.
Yeah.
Literally in a matter of 2 minutes, I broke out in this crazy sweat. My whole bed was wet.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I woke up and everything was wet. So I got up next morning. I went to the doctor. I said, Doctor, I think I had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And the doctor put me on an EKG and had me walk around with it and all that kind of stuff. He goes, no, you didn't have a heart attack. What you had was a stress attack.
Okay, that's intense.
You had a stress attack, and that's not a heart attack. You're just under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew that, oh my God, my whole life was, whole life was that. It feels like you're going to die.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than that. And if somebody right now who's watching this, going through it,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not over.
See, I've said to you that I believe the message that you're speaking now is big, but I also believe that it's going to catch wind and go worldwide. I mean, you're worldwide, but it's going to go real worldwide, because it's such an interesting story of a man with his back against the wall.
It's always been that way, Tim.
Okay. So if I was to say that to you, give me two things that can help me if my back is so damn against the wall and I want to just give in. Okay. Like, you love Smokey Robinson's music, and you know that he's my boy. Smokey Robinson was in a time in his life where he was addicted, and he literally felt like throwing in the towel. We see so many of your friends, my friends, that are willing to just throw in the towel and be done. Okay? Throw in the towel, boxing term, I'm done. White towel, I'm done. 2 points I want to hear from you of how the hell do we get out of that place?
Well, I'm gonna tell you that two things, right? Grant said something a couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah.
That really stood with me, right? He said in baseball, it's 3 strikes and you're out.
Yes.
Right? But in life, you get unlimited swings.
Ooh, I never heard that.
You know what I mean? Like in life, you all you have to do is keep swinging, and all you need to do is one home run.
Wow.
Right? So that's something that I always said that it was always stood very well with me. So I always like the analogy of sports, right?
Yeah.
And then if you look at some of the greatest boxers,
yeah,
you look at Muhammad Ali,
Sugar Ray
Leonard, Floyd Mayweather,
yeah,
if you look at them like that, they've all been against the rope. So when you're against the rope, and so when somebody is when life is just coming at you and just hitting you with everything you got, you have 2 choices, right? You either have a choice of throwing the towel and saying I'm done and being that, or you protect yourself and you just come out with the right time for the right counter.
Okay, see, I'm loving this about you, and so that's where I got to go with you for a minute, because what I see is that you start throwing flurries and then you don't stop. And even the guys I know that follow you, They say the same thing about you. Because you could rest right now. Like you have a beautiful wife. What a privilege. Thank you for letting me do the wedding.
Of course.
Pelican Hills. Come on.
Thank you.
You got to know that was one of the
Thank you.
greatest weddings of all time.
Really, the people at Pelican Hill.
Yeah.
They came up to me after the wedding, and they do all the celebrities.
They do them all.
And they said, Sam, I got to tell you, this was like the top 3 or top 4.
No doubt about it.
And I'm going like this, and I'm going like me. I'm like, really?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So I was honored that I was like in the top 3 or top 4 in Pelican Hill, and I was honored to have you. What a pleasure to have you, marry us, and I really appreciate you doing that out of your gesture and being a part of that and being a part of our life.
What a privilege. So to go from the state that you were in to now live this life that is at such that utmost level. Okay, so this is what I want to ask you as a friend. Why do you care so much? Because you care, man. I watch you, I see your crew here, you got a big crew here. You disciple them, you mentor them, you care about the underdog. Why are you caring about the underdog? Because you could just rest in your laurels right now.
Tim, I'm not motivated
Yeah.
by financially anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm motivated by progress. I'm motivated by fulfillment. I'm motivated by making a change in this world.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that was always the case because listen, when I was losing my house, when I had foreclosure notice, when I was 2 years behind on the payment, when my ex-wife was pregnant with the kid and I had no money, I was overdrawn in the account.
Yeah.
When my basic necessities weren't met, all I wanted to do is try to pay the bills, and I wasn't thinking about fulfillment. But I always tell people, once your basic necessities are met, right?
Yeah.
What I mean by that is you have food on the table, you don't have to worry about your next meal coming up, you have reliable transportation, you have a home that no matter what is your home, you can never get kicked out. I made sure of that. I don't owe nobody anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once you have that, then after that, what else is there?
Wow. That's
powerful.
powerful.
And fulfillment is what now makes me happy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I tell people this, if I get a check for $1 billion tomorrow, guess what time I'm going to gym?
Tell me.
Same time. Ain't gonna change. I'm not gonna sleep in. That's what I do. I'm not going to gym. I'm not going.
Yeah.
I don't go to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning because I have to be anywhere at any time.
Yes.
I don't do this. I don't because I want to because that's my meditation time. That's my sanctuary at that time.
Yes.
So $1 billion check tomorrow will not change my lifestyle. What am I going to do? Get a bigger house? What am I going to go get a bigger? I have everything that I want.
You sure do.
The only thing that's missing now is fulfillment. The only thing that right now is to be able to make a change for these guys, be able to say, hey man, because of this guy, I was able to do this. Because of this guy, this happened. Same thing you're doing right now.
Thank you.
You're doing this all. I see you doing it.
I love the next generation. And the next generation doesn't always mean younger. It could be guys the same age as me or even older cats that never had a chance. Mm-hmm. And so I feel that by the grace of God, me and you have been blessed to be a blessing. I ran into an older gentleman in Starbucks the other day, and he had recognized me from something. And he goes, you got a minute to have a coffee? And I really didn't. And I said, yes. I sat with him for 40 minutes. He goes, why would you just do this? I said, because you're a fellow human being, okay? And God has a great plan for your life too. Come on, man.
I mean, you just changed that man's life forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I tell you this, just kind of in the same kind of token. I remember when I was growing up, ever since I was a little kid, I've been infatuated with little cars and sports cars. I like cars and sports, right? And I remember, like, every time I see a sports cars like these, like, as a little kid, I would go run into them. Oh my God, Mom, look, oh my God. Yeah. I would go in there. And I remember one time going to, it was a red Ferrari, matter of fact. I went over there and I was looking at the car and a guy comes out. I was like, hey man, be careful my car, Watch out, kid, And I was like, wow, I told myself, I'm like, wow, like, okay, I was kind of like that, because he could have totally made my day by just showing me the car or not say that. I just let me look at the car.
Oh, yeah.
So I vowed myself. I told myself, look, one day, if I have the privilege to have something like this, I'm not going to be that guy.
Yeah.
So whenever I have this car, I'm going somewhere, and I see little kids. Oh my God! I stop the car. I stop the car, Tim. I stop the car. I pull over.
See,
I'm like, hey kid, come here.
I love this.
Come here. Get inside.
Yeah.
Get inside. I told him, Mom, take a picture. Take a picture. I want the kid. I want to inspire him.
A connection.
I want to be able to say, hey kid, hey, if the mom lets him, let me take him around the block.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff that I live for. I could give damn less about anything. I want to go from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So what's the worst thing that can happen? There's a little scratch on a material thing.
Oh yeah.
Big deal. It's not. It to me is the inspiration is be able to. Now the kid's not going to remember until he's 50 years old the first time he sat in a Ferrari, because I know I would remember that.
No, you will remember. I remember the first time I got in a car, because all our cars when we were kids, lower income, when you close the door, they went. And my sister, who's pretty, she started dating an older guy, and he had a big old Mercedes. And when you close the door, Sam, it went like this. I went, boom, I want a car like that.
You want a car like that, yep.
Okay, so here's what I want to say. How can you multiply yourself? Because you're one human being. But now through the power of social media, the power of television, power of books, and everything, tell me one or two programs you're working on that you can help more of us.
So obviously, I'm coming out with my third book.
Yes.
My first book was Total Body Transformation Secrets Revealed.
Oh yeah.
Becoming a 1%er was my second book. I'm working on the third book right now. I'm working on what's called a 1% Club. That we're releasing here pretty soon here on April. I'm working on some other different programs. And at this point in my life,
yes.
I want to serve. I want to be able to make a difference. I want to be able to have the message that if a little Iranian kid came here with $500 of luggage, never had a dad, never had any directions, have made all the mistakes in the world, had never had any kind of man mentorship,
yes.
In his life. If I can do it, so can them.
And I think what's happening in your life is you're like a player coach. It's almost like when Magic Johnson got to a certain place in his career, he wasn't even almost done, but he became a player coach. You're a player coach because you're still doing it, but there's something in you that wants to coach. But what is it in you that wants to coach? I'd like to know that.
For me, here's what happened organically that really made me feel good and give me another level of fulfillment. For years, my biggest fulfillment was getting the dozens of messages through email, text, social media. Sam, I lost 40 pounds. Here's what I was able to do. Hey, Sam, here's what I did. Here's what your company did. I lost this much weight. I went back to my doctor. They couldn't believe it. We couldn't get pregnant, but now I got in shape and I got pregnant. So this was a big fulfillment for me, right? Then the second fulfillment came where we started franchising the camp, right? And now the camp became a business opportunity. Now I get messages that how, owning a business, having, leaving their dead-end jobs and jobs that they hated, not having the American dream and doing that. And now, my next part of my life is to be able to impact more and more people, and be able to show them like my crew, my 1% crew that's here right now filming this and working with me. They know I hold them to the highest standard.
Yes.
They know that I expect them to perform.
Okay, but why? Why do you want to do it? In my opinion, I would say as a study of leaders. Mm-hmm. Part of it is because that being normal, regular, status quo is not enough.
Not especially not in this day and age.
Okay.
Not in this day and age. Somebody out there is going to do what you're doing. Whether you're a photographer, whether you are a pastor, there's a billion other ones. What is going to differentiate yourself from everybody else?
And here's another thing, because you travel too. It's worldwide. I remember I was speaking in Norway. It was like this large crowd in Norway. And I came off the stage, and a guy had a CD disc, and he goes, "Hey, man, can you give this to Jay-Z?" He was a white boy. I'm like, what? My thinking was, they're hustling in Norway. They're hustling in Rome. They're hustling even in Bangladesh. They are hustling worldwide.
Yeah, they're hungry.
Yeah, they're hungry.
And you have to you have to teach the competitive advantage. I just say, look, man, in this day economy, you have to have the skills, but you also have to have results in relationship.
I want you to ask me a question that you think that possibly I've never been asked. Because I'm gonna answer you because you're my real brother. You are my real brother. I'm used to being asked like, how did you go from Compton to Beverly Hills? But I think you got something in you that you're gonna pull out of me today.
Okay. So something that you never been asked. Okay, so I've done, I know you and all that kind of stuff. But I've dug into your personal stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, so I'm prepared for this. I'm prepared for this, right? I'm prepared for this because I'm like, all right, man, so what can I ask, Tim, that nothing been asked? At least I've never seen it, all right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Talk to me, because I'm looking at you, right?
Yeah.
And I know you. You're such a spiritual guy. You're such an amazing person to be around, right? Why didn't your relationship work with Roxanne?
Ooh,
that hit you hard.
that hit me hard. Yeah, I think that what happens in life is that when you are flowing so fast and you are, at that time I had a lot of success, and you're moving from one thing to another. Like even when I was driving to your house today, a guy was talking to me about a movie deal. Then I was talking to a famous guy from Princeton University who's working on my book deal. I mean, it's coming at you all so quick. I feel that the choice that I made with her to marry her was done kind of in a flash. And what I mean by that is that it's like if you go to a restaurant, they give you a menu. And many times we're talking in between, so we don't look at the menu. And then they come back again and they say, are you ready? And you say, in a minute. But you don't even look at the menu. I think that Roxanne was such an amazing person, still is, I still talk to her, is that I don't think I really looked at the menu. Had I looked at the menu, I think we were two different people. Mm-hmm. And so there's a verse in the Bible that says, what God has put together, let no man put asunder. I think that God did not put that together.
Yeah.
I think I was in a hurry. I was not paying attention, and I made a choice. Now, I say that in all due respect to her because she's a really beautiful, wonderful person. And I think that from the get-go, man, Sam, I was too busy. Does that make any sense to you?
No. It makes total sense. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
And I know, I know one thing. When it comes to marriage and women in general, and that's something that I struggle with as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even right now with our marriage, is how do you balance, being busy and being productive and getting stuff done, and be able to, give it the right amount of attention and all that kind of stuff. As men, we're hunters, right? We're gonna have to go out there and get stuff done and being at home.
100%.
And they want to protect, and they want love, and they want attention and all that kind of stuff. And there's got to be a fine balance. There got to be a fine balance. I can't provide the kind of lifestyle that I think we want.
Yes.
If I'm home all day, and it's kind of. I was talking to Lou Holtz, and he's a very funny guy.
That's a big deal. Yeah. When he just said I was talking to Lou Holtz. That's a legend.
Yeah. I was talking. He's a very funny guy, man. He's 81 years old, still very witty, And he was saying that he struggled with that as well.
Yeah.
And he just said he doesn't get mad, he doesn't get anything. He said he told his wife, look. He goes, I'm okay staying home with you all day.
Yeah.
But we just have to make some adjustments to our lifestyle as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
as long as you're okay with that, we can make some adjustments to our lifestyle, and I can stay home all day. We have to maybe, downgrade this, downgrade that. And it's a fine balance. And then I know exactly, what where you're going with that. And
yeah, 100%. And I think that the cool thing is that, it is weird when they move on. She's been with an amazing man for years, and I think that for me, I went from shame of feeling like I didn't measure up. Okay, like I made a big mistake. But the more I learned, and that was through the help of friends. If you had been there, you would have been there for me. They just said, Tim, things happen, and it gives you a chance now to walk out your own message.
Why shame?
Shame to me was probably
because you're a pastor and you're supposed to have a perfect life, right?
Brought on by religion.
Yeah.
Of that I had let religious people down.
That's such a BS.
It really is.
In my opinion.
No, it is.
Yeah.
Even to me now.
Yeah.
That's why I can openly talk to you about it today with zero shame.
Yes.
And in fact, there was a really judgmental pastor that ran into me about 6 months ago, and to be honest, he's a little jealous because I'm kicking butt in life. And he said, "Oh, it's so terrible that you went through that divorce." And I looked at
how many years later? Are you kidding me?
I mean, what, 15 years? And I said, "What'd you say?" He goes, "Oh, it's just so awful that you went through that divorce." And I said, "Sir, that's something that I don't even think about anymore." Right? I mean, if we believe in the spiritual side of God, it says that he does not treat you as your sins deserve and that he forgets them. So the very thing that this man was trying to conjure up, God has already forgotten.
I mean, I saw something the other day, it says that your haters will whisper all your victories and, say out loud any little thing that ever went wrong. The one thing that ever went wrong in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that ever went wrong in your life. I mean, they're gonna bring it out 15 years later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the kind of crap that, I think that whole religion needs to stop. Stop judging people, just loving people for who they are.
100%. But I'll say this to you and you'll get this. God's opinion of you makes man's opinion irrelevant. So God's opinion of you makes man's opinion relevant. Then I say something because I know your two daughters, and they love their dad.
Thank you.
Come on, man.
They're my life.
It's that. Yeah. Come on. Just give me the love of my kids, right? Yeah. The oasis of your home, the oasis of your wife. I almost cried at your funeral. I almost cried at your wedding. Yeah. I almost cried at your wedding, and I was the one that was helping with the wedding. Yeah. That's how beautiful it was, okay? And so for you to have your children, right, your wife, somehow you created an oasis in this house. What's going on in this house? Why is there so much peace?
For me, that's what I always wanted. That's what I always dreamed about. That's what I worked so hard for.
Yeah.
I told my wife, and I tell everybody in there, I said, look, the moment I leave the house, I got my suit and my armor on.
Wow.
And I'm ready to fight. Yeah. That's what men do. We're hunters. I got my suit and armor on.
You are. I got to admit that.
I'm like this. I'm like this. And even with my staff, when I have a meeting, what we do when we get to the office, what we have what call is a briefing.
Yeah.
We get together. Hey, what are you working on? 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 And then at the end, we have a debriefing. How they go? What's going on? Where we are with all that kind of stuff. But in the middle between brief and debriefing, I'm like this.
Yeah.
I'm right there in the ring, and I don't want to be distracted. And I don't want nobody saying, hey, well, how about this? How about this? We already have a game plan. Here, no interruption, and all that. However, my job as a man is to go out there, get stuff done as fast as possible so I can come home and be in my sanctuary, be at home, and be that. Here's what I told my wife.
Wow.
And I told my wife, I said, look, I'm ready to fight and dodge bullets as soon as I leave the house. But when I come right before I get in, I take all my suits off. And when I get in, I don't want to fight. There's nothing. I want to come home, and I just want to enjoy my hard work and be in peace. And that's what I've created.
And you're very submissive to your children, very attentive. I watch how you talk to your daughters. I watch how you talk to your wife. Come on. There's nothing like that, right?
Thank you. It's not. I mean, that's what life is all about.
Yeah.
That's what life is all about. To me, that's what I always wanted.
Okay, this is your podcast, but I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Because I am a TV host. When you're driving that red car right there, and you're going down PCH, what does it feel like?
Look, man, it's a dream come true. I'm gonna tell you right now, Tim. It's a dream come true every time I wake up in the morning.
Okay.
And I say, "Wow, this is my house." It's a dream come true.
Amazing house. If you have not been here,
this is a dream come true every time I turn on the water, and the hot water comes right away. I don't have to leave it on for 10 minutes for it to come. It's a dream when my car starts every day.
Oh yeah.
Because I've been there.
Yes.
I've been there, And I tell you, I got to show it to you, man. I remember I told you that I'm a big believer in setting my day up perfectly the way I want, and the way I get ready for the day. And part of me getting ready for the day is I have to listen to music.
Yes.
When I'm getting ready for the day, right?
I watch you.
And so, I have surround sound all over the house, but one place I didn't have was showers.
Yeah.
So I put surround sound in the shower now. So now I'm doing a moonwalk while I'm in the shower. I'm literally doing a moonwalk in the shower.
Because I'm going to give you a little insight on Sam. He can dance. I saw him at his wedding. I said, oh, man, he's handsome, he's an entrepreneur, and he can dance.
Yeah. Well, it's a dream come true, Tim. It's a dream come true. Like, come from where we come from.
Yeah.
I can't believe that I'm sitting here in my garage with my dream cars. But now that I've achieved everything that I wanted as a childhood, because I didn't have none, this stuff is done and over with.
Oh, yeah.
And it's done and over with. It's cool. I achieved it. But now I'm like, what's next?
Yeah.
And now I want to be at your level because I see you. You have something that I want.
Yeah.
And you know what that is? And that is peace in your soul. And that you are genuinely out there serving people.
Yeah.
You took 45 minutes and talked to a guy at a coffee shop
that I never knew.
And you know what? I want that. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm working to get there because I really want to be able to do these kind of things and be able to say I made a difference.
Yeah. And I think in fairness to you and all those that are watching, because you were in such a war for so long, you were warring, because I know your story, it wasn't just for you, you were warring for your family. Isn't that the truth?
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. I mean, very true. I've been at one kind of war or other.
Yeah.
My whole life.
Yeah.
One was a war, being in the country.
Yeah.
2, coming to the United States and not being accepted, not knowing the language, all that. 3, not having a dad. 4, having a mom who I love to death, but she is so old school.
Yeah.
She says, okay, is this way or the highway? We're Persians, we do it this way. Persians don't do it this way. Persians do it this way. I remember one time my mom got in a car accident and I went to see her in the hospital. And I went there right after, I got the news, I was in the gym clothes.
Yeah.
I went to gym clothes to the hospital. My mom is in the hospital bed. She went off on me and she goes, why are you dressed like this? You're becoming a doctor and you're in gym clothes and you're in the hospital. I said, Mom, I said, Mom, with all due respect, I'm not your doctor. I'm here as your son visiting you. Ooh. And I'm, she's that old school.
Oh yeah, I got you.
And so I had to battle one way or another. But you know what? That's what makes life beautiful.
Okay, I want to ask you one last question. So I get to talk to the Magic Johnsons, the Kanye West, the Robert Downeys, the Oprah Winfreys. I'm now talking to Sam. How are you going to be able to handle this next level? Because the next level's there. You know that next level's is there, right? You can feel it?
I can feel it.
Okay, so what's happened is that you are living already in like the 2 percentile of the world, financially, influence, etc. But very few people get to roll into that next level. Tell me why you think you're going to be able to handle it. I think you're going to be able to, but you tell me why.
I want to be able to handle it because I just want to serve. Yes. I honestly want, I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, tomorrow's not promised to anybody, But I want to be able to, to leave a legacy when my kids, my daughters say, my dad did this for the world.
There's your answer right there. The fact that you already are a servant. See, I think that when you think servanthood, like a Nelson Mandela, right? Then we can't be beat when we're thinking about serving, right? That's the thing that's going to sustain us. And even on a biblical tip, for Jesus came not to be served, but to serve. So I noticed that no matter all the accoutrements that you have around you, which is amazing house, beautiful wife, cars, power, money, all the companies you own. I won't even just bring it to the gyms of over 100 gyms, but all the companies, is that you have a heart of a servant. You cannot stop a servant.
That's the ultimate fulfillment, though. That I mean, like I always said, you know, one of my favorite quotes is Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
You know, because he says, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure.
Wow.
You know, what is all of this crap?
Wow.
What is all of this crap if I'm not making a difference? If I'm not serving, if I'm not fulfilled in the heart? You know, all this means nothing. You know, I'd rather be in a 600 square foot apartment driving a Volkswagen Rabbit diesel that I had.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? And be able to go out there and make a difference in the world than drive a Lamborghini and make no difference in the world. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that for my sake and my curiosity, you know, having a big house and having exotic cars and having, you know, some material things.
Yeah.
I achieved it.
Yes.
I said, all right, I achieved it. That was a goal. I achieved it. But what else am I going to do now? What am I going to do? Like I said, if I get $1 billion, what am I going to do? Get a 20,000 square foot home?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get a Bugatti? Who cares?
Oh, yeah.
At this point.
I think I want to say something that I hear you say to me, but I want to say it to the people that are watching today, is that success is fulfilling your mission. This is your mission.
Yep.
You were supposed to be this man that's worldwide. But all your tribe that's around here, because you got a good young tribe around you, they're fulfilling their mission right now, right? Yeah. So I think it's important that the people watching today know that it's not like you're saying, you got to become me. Yeah. They have to be okay that God's plan for their life is enough. Yeah. And you're just trying to get them to fulfill their mission.
I want them to become the best version of themselves.
Okay, beautiful. That's it.
You know, they can't be me. They can't be anybody else. You know, one thing that you said that always sticks with me, you know, in church. Mm-hmm. There's a few things, but one of them you said, you know, you were born an original, don't die a copy.
Don't die.
See, I'm listening in church.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's why I always say, "Hey Sam," because you're taking notes and everything else.
I'm listening. I'm literally listening, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Another thing that I love, you know, you say is an utmost God doesn't make almost children.
Almost children.
You know, and I mean, there's quotes that you say, man. I'm just sitting out there. I'm just like going like this. I'm like, wow. I'm going like this. Wow. Like I'm going like you know, and I'm going like, wow. I got you say some things, and I'm like, it just hits deep.
I got to tell you one quick question or one quick story about this. I was sitting on the floor seats because my good friend Diane Cannon, who used to be married to Cary Grant, I was sitting next to her. So it was Diane, myself, Magic Johnson, Tiger Woods, and Jim Carrey all on the floor next to each other. But this was common because she would let me sit in her seats at the Laker game. And remember Dominique Wilkins? He was an amazing basketball player.
Atlanta Hawks.
Yes. So I used to help Dominique. I was like coaching him. And I'll never forget, the ball rolled out of bounds in that section. Watch this. Diane Cannon, famous actress, married to Cary Grant, Tim Storey, Magic Johnson next to me, Tiger Woods next to him, and Jim Carrey, famous actor. The ball rolls there, okay? One of the guys gets it, gives it to the referee. Dominique turns around and goes, Tim Storey's in the house and everything's going to be okay. And passes the ball in. Look at me right here. That's what I said. I'm living a crazy life.
Yeah. Well, Tim, what's next for you? I mean, I know that you are blessed. You know why you're blessed? You know, I'm watching you and I'm literally taking notes.
Yeah.
You know, you're blessed because you have given.
Thank you.
You know, you have given. I've seen you give, and I've seen you give, and I've seen you give with zero expectation. A lot of people give. A lot of people give, but there's expectation and there's strings attached and things like that. You have given with zero strings attached because you understand one thing.
Yes.
You understand one thing that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's called law of reciprocity.
Wow.
And that and law of reciprocity states that when you do something good, the universe will do something good for you.
So good.
Okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think that, okay, if you do something good for me, I do something good for you, but it doesn't work that way. A lot of times you do something good for this person, it might not directly come from that person. It will come something that it has happened to me over and over and over again. And I know that's what. So all the things that you've been doing, and I know you have a bunch of things coming up, right?
Yeah.
Tell me what you have coming up and how can other people know about it? Because I got a little insider scoop with you because you're my buddy, but I want the people to know.
Okay, well, I mean, the obvious projects are, we love Ed Milet. You knew him before me.
Yes.
So we're working on a 6 to 7 city tour together with Ed Milet. Then I'm doing a Think and Grow Rich tour. The book Think and Grow Rich is the number 5 selling book in the history of the planet. So I'm doing a 25 city tour with Think and Grow Rich. I've got 3 projects with Oprah Winfrey. I've got 2 projects with Steve Harvey. I got a movie that I'm working on with Will Smith, where I'm the producer. So, but
and you're in my house right now, man. I'm like, are you serious?
But you see how chill I am, because to me, helping the kid at the 7-Eleven is real big too. Like when I see a kid that's struggling and he's asking for money, and I know that's not really him, man, come on. To me, that's just as big as these projects. So I think we're in a similar place, Sam, where God has graced us, right? Yes. Sovereignly graced us to be an influence on influencers. Yeah. I remember one time sitting in the backyard because Oprah Winfrey and I are really close, and she was crying while we were just chatting. And I thought, man, I'm living a wild world. I mean, this is a lady I've looked up to all my life, and now she's one of my best friends. And so that is a God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above.
It's not a good idea. It's a God idea. It's absolutely amazing. Tim, I don't even know, honestly, I don't even start crying right now.
Yeah.
But it's such a pleasure for me to call you my friend.
Yeah, I'm your friend.
It's such a pleasure for me.
We're real brothers. I'm going to need you in life. We need each other, yeah.
It's just, I'm just in awe of the man you are. And you're somebody who I aspire and want to model after, because of the fact that you're present, you're given, you're genuine, and you come from a good place. And I want to be like you, man. Honestly, I want to be like you. I'm honestly, truly say, in the next 3 to 5 years, I want to be where you are.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you setting an example for me, being a positive role model. And man, I love you, man. Thank you for being here.